All right, welcome back. We're talking about a tropical disturbance, a lot of rain, a lot of pump stations.
Yeah.
Number one question, are they ready to go?
I can tell you that they are. Certainly this morning, everyone began to assess their individual site for the checklist. Oil, fuel, batteries, everything that needed to be done. Looked at the height of the outfall canals and brought them down to the level where they could absorb more water. It's always a good opportunity when we talk about pump stations to remind people that they begin pumping when the water gets to the pump station, that even though it's in the ditch in front of their house, it doesn't mean that it's at the pump station yet. So if you don't see it flowing, it's because we're waiting for that water to get there in order to take it out.
Yeah, there's some mathematics that go along with it. We have Reggie Dupre just walked in. We'll get him to just walk up live. Come on up, Reggie, and take the last chair if you don't mind. Michel, the pump stations in Terrebonne Parish, what was the count last of 60-something? How many are there?
We have in excess of 80 pump stations.
Yeah, same with
Right,
us.
and let me just assure you,
So both have 80.
we've
80.
checked them out. All the fuel is up to the top. Our portable pumps are all fueled, and we checked them for operation. You know, we've pumped down systems today. We've made substantial drainage improvements all over the parish. We've added additional pumps at Alacuba, William Street. We've also added an additional pump at Concord. We've done substantial improvements at Broadmoor, Alamo Subdivision, Sunset Subdivision, Sunrise Subdivision, and of course, we're hoping that a lot of the excavations we've done on various areas will assist in this entire process. And like Charlotte said, the drought certainly doesn't hurt us. It's our friend at this particular time. But again, you can never have enough pumping capacity or a reservoir capacity at times like this.
Well, Reggie Dupre is now joining us. We want to welcome him as one of the panelists. And Reggie, I guess what we want to do, we've of course been talking about the system out there, and Charlotte, as well as Michel and Chris, have kind of given us an indication of what they're doing in Terrebonne and Lafourche. You, as head of the levee district, what particular challenges does this event have for the levee district?
This event appears to be developing into a baby wand. That's what I've named it until it gets, if it doesn't get officially named. It seems there's no steering currents, and it'll be around for a few days. And what we have done, we've closed the Humble Canal, and the brand new Bush Canal floodgate that was used for the first time about 2 hours ago was closed. We have crews that's going to be manning all night and for 24/7 until this is over on the two sector gates at Bayou, Lower Bayou Terrebonne and at Boudreaux Canal. The tide just a few minutes ago, I checked at Bayou Terrebonne. They're fixing to close it. It's already at a 2.44, and it was less than 2 just about 3 hours ago. So it is tonight. It is rising. The tide is rising pretty quickly.
And also down, I know down the lower end, you had some help, I think, from the parish president and parish government. Is that correct?
We had the old Texaco slip. We had a problem where one particular portion of it, about 75 feet, had a breach in it. It was very low, and water was coming in and potentially impacting people in Lower Bayou-side Drive in Chauvin. So the parish president provided us with 1,000 sandbags. We have some prisoners from the sheriff's office along with our crews. We shored it up, and we did get an emergency permit late this afternoon from the Corps to shore it up even further with some dredging on site. So that will be done tomorrow morning.
Well, we commend both of y'all for working together, as well as I know Charlotte, you and Wendell and the other levee districts, I know work hand in hand, especially in these kind of events.
Well, the floodgates on Bayou Lafourche from Golden Meadow to La Rose are closed. The latest report I had from them is that they were opening them about every 6 hours. They will adjust that as necessary. But as Reggie has mentioned, it's certainly something that I think we've all described this as we're going to have to play it by ear. Yeah. You know, well, you have these plans in place and all these directions for everyone to take. This one's a bit unusual, and therefore we need to address it as it's predicted.
It's so unorganized that you can't get a pulse on it. Huh?
No.
Well, but I guess what's good, excuse me, Michel, is to be prepared. And I guess what I relate to, although it's a totally different event, the river flooding that we were not going, that we were supposed to have, which we really didn't. It's trying to get out in front of this particular event to prevent whatever you can.
Right. What bothers me is just like what Martin said. It's so unorganized. I'm just have this fear that it's going to sit right on top of us and drop water and water and water on it. And, you know, we need to be as prepared as we can. And we're trying to get out in front of it, and we're hoping that we will. And that's why we think all of our residents should be vigilant. And please make certain you keep us posted. We had already emergency meetings this morning with the Sheriff's Office, the Houma Police Department, and various other emergency people. And I know they'll be patrolling in the entire parish for us.
I cut my teeth on Juan. It looks like a Juan, like you said. Of course, Juan was a hurricane. But Jason, bring up the floodgate shot if you can again. I saw it up there. And
Martin, while he's doing that, if I could also mention that we're discouraging people from driving around too much this weekend, to limit their mobility as much as possible, just because we don't know where that water is going to accumulate. If there are prior events planned, then it's a good thing to attend, and if they're still scheduled. But at the same time, if you can stay off the road, it certainly would help.
Now, let's see, what are we looking at
that's
here?
Lafourche.
Okay.
How much higher you think, Charlotte, right here? Or Reggie, if either one of y'all want to jump in on it, or Chris, for that matter.
You can't see the monitor.
Oh,
you
Yeah,
can't.
Sorry, I put you in a bad vantage point over there, but just talk about tidal just in general, Reggie. What are you hearing as far as the tidal movements on this system?
I think I would predict that right now, like I said, the tide in Bayou Terrebonne, which is probably where it gets the highest in Humboldt Canals, at 2.44, 2.5 range, which is really an extraordinary high tide. I think the worst case scenario, I'm thinking it'll be another 1.5 feet or so above that. This is not going to be a tidal surge as you have for a hurricane. It'll be just staying relatively high. And then I think if you're within a forced drainage area and with all the improvements that's done, I think you'll be pretty well protected.
But it won't be an ike or anything like
No.
that. We don't want to alarm people, but it will be a major rain event.
Major rain event.
Which a
and
lot of the
extreme-
hurricanes don't have.
Major rain event with super extraordinary high tide. That's
Right.
what it won't be a tidal surge, and that's what I think you'll see.
Over the course of days.
Right.
It'll be an extended period.
And that's the problem, right? We don't know if it's 2, 3, 4, 7, or 8. Nobody really knows. Bring the spaghetti up again. Call it spaghetti, Jason. All the people guessing at where this thing is going to go. Nobody has a clue of where this thing is going to
Especially
go.
the ones that go up and then loop back around again.
Well, I guess
Look at
that's
Where's
the
the cone of uncertainty?
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah, they don't even have one. But
Yeah.
but the loop, as Charlotte just mentioned, is I guess something that we fear because we don't want it staying in the Gulf. The sooner
right.
it goes ahead and moves out of here, the better off that we'll all be.
And Texas needs rain so badly
They do.
that it would be nice
So
to
does-
send it to those areas.
So does Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia too. Yeah.
That would be good.
If we had a little direction in this, that there are areas in Texas that are really suffering.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into the urging of the residents now, because there's people out there watching or getting a little uneasy. Charlotte, what do you tell them first?
Just be vigilant, be our eyes and ears out there. Call us, email us, whatever. We should not lose electricity this time. It shouldn't be that type of event. There is some concern about potential tornadoes with this type of system, and we're not on the best side of it. We're on the best side of it for tornadoes, if you want to put it that way. Unfortunately. But it's important to just kind of monitor your situation, because there are people who are at home or our extension, and they can report any problems so that we can address them quickly before they become major problems.
And what's good about both governments and Reggie as well with the levee district, I know y'all always keep in touch with Martin here at the station, and obviously if there's anything noteworthy, I know you're going to get it out.
We're going to be on starting tomorrow until we're going to ride it out, so
Okay.
just to try to help and ease people. Charlotte, before I move from you, sandbag Well, I know y'all put quite a few sandbag locations out, right?
Well, we still have the sandbags from the threatened flood in late spring. So fortunately, we have a nice cache of them. And we do have people filling additional sandbags right now. We go from the Thibodeau Field Office on Veterans Boulevard, Raceland Field Office on Texas Street, Lockport Field Office, Highway 308, Galliana Cutoff Field Office, West 97th Street, Choctaw Field Office, Choctaw Bourne Road, and the Bayou Field Office is on Myrtle Place. Again, if you need information on this, we'll have people answering the phones throughout. So if you didn't get a chance to jot all that down, please call us, and we can direct you to where you need to be.
All right, Michel, same question to the residents of Terrebonne Parish. I know vigilant, anything that you want to sort of warn them about that's out of the ordinary?
Well, first off, our Office of Emergency Preparedness is not going to be open all night tonight. No. We believe that it's going to be, if we need to, we'll make that call tomorrow and we'll determine how things are happening. This is one where there's so much uncertainty that we're going to have to kind of play it by ear. I'm thankful in that I have people on my staff who have been with me for quite some time that are so knowledgeable of the parish and its workings. And I'm also pleased that we've done so much work on our forced drainage systems and our pump stations. And, we're just praying that the rains will not be such that we cannot keep up in those areas.
And Chris, maybe you can just jump in. Although you may not be open all night, I guess you're probably on call 24/7. Give us a little bit of indication of what you kind of do behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, we kind of coordinate things that needs to be done, and when we are open tonight, we're not open, and we'll look at it tomorrow and see what's going on with the sheriff's office, because they help out with the eyes going around looking, and if they see something, they'll give us a call to go help out. We had a call from Jefferson Parish, for Grand Isle. If something would happen, can we help with a shelter? And that's been taken care of. We've lined that up. And just coordinate as things come in, who it needs to go to, who needs to take care of it, and make sure it gets done.
Actually, we're looking at Grand Isle right there. Yeah, so a lot of people going to Grand Isle, I think, for the Labor Day weekend. But
you can tell in the background, Steve's kind of getting a little rough.
Surf's up.
Yeah, surf's up, but not abnormal.
Yeah, and Michel, I'm sorry we passed over sandbag locations in Terrebonne Parish.
We have them right now at Pointe-aux-Chenes, Montague, Little Caillou Volunteer Fire Department, Grand Caillou Fire Department, Upper Bayou de Large, Lower Bayou de Large, and of course we're going to add additional stations tomorrow, depending upon what will happen. But you can see basically all around the parish tomorrow. And this is the lower part of the parish has a lot of tidal flooding, and they're ones that are more susceptible to certain areas, and they're the ones who need it first during that period.
Now, you talked to the superintendent in Terrebonne Parish, because we haven't heard, but schools supposedly is going?
He indicated this, since it wasn't a major wind event, he was concerned about whether or not the buses would be able to pass on the roads. Mm-hmm. We indicated, other than maybe Ile de Jean Charles and a couple of the really lower portions of the parish, that we expected the roads to be open, and he indicated that he expects schools to be open all day tomorrow, and he does not anticipate closing them unless there's some unforeseen thing that should happen before tomorrow.
So you sort of give him the conditions in that meeting, and then he makes the decision.
Right. We've worked really well together. In fact, for that Chapelaya, we protected all the schools. We knew what they needed. They worked well with us in the event we would need shelters and all. And we have a great working relationship with the school board. And Superintendent Martin always is Johnny on the spot when we need him for anything.
Okay, Charlotte, real quick, have you spoken to Lafourche?
Same thing. I have not spoken to him. Chris has, but the indication is that everything is normal for schools tomorrow, and that people just be careful on the highways because they'll be slick. And there actually were 2 accidents coming over here, so people need to drive a little bit more cautiously. But schools will be open. I understand the football games change
Till tonight. Yeah,
okay.
we got crews out filming right now. And the reason I asked about schools, because when I leave, Jimmy's going to get 1,000 phone calls.
Yeah, I know.
School's open tomorrow.
Yeah.
I might give him the day off. Who knows?
As long as you say it, not me.
Schools are open.
Superintendent Jimmy DeGate. All right, Reggie, any words of wisdom as we get ready for this event coming in?
I think just to end, the roads that I expect in Terrebonne Parish to have tidal flooding would probably be Foggle Canal, Mayfield and Lower Dulac, Full Point, Bayou Sally Road, which is Highway 57 between Dulac and Cocodrie, maybe Lower Highway 56 and Cocodrie, Highway Olive Jean Charles, most likely, Lower Madison Road below our floodgate will most likely have water on it, and maybe the very extreme end of Lower Pontchartrain. So that's what I would know, the roads that I've seen flooded before, so this is where I would expect flooding on highways and parish roads.
Michel, how high was Island Road raised again?
Island Road was 1 foot higher than it was. I don't know exactly the flood elevation, but at least we're 1 foot higher, but that was it. And I want to also mention, when we spoke to Superintendent Martin, we indicated those exact same places. Right. But remember, it's not a whole lot of school buses that are going in these areas. Right. So consequently, he indicated that it was his opinion that schools would remain open. And I have not heard anything differently, and I'm certain he would have called me because we have a very good relationship.
Any danger with drinking water, anything for the public?
None. No problems whatsoever. And people can drink the water without a problem.
I think what's a good thing to kind of reiterate, though, I think was mentioned by both, particularly Michel, is about how people can help out in their own drainage ditches. If they have trash that they see, if they easily remove it, maybe y'all can comment on how big of a help that is.
Well, I think it's really a big help. And look, one thing that has bothered me, and I'll tell you, is this is election time. They have a lot of things that can maybe end up in ditches that we've not had in the past. People should be very careful as to their areas in the drainage areas. And please, please, please help us. You need to be our eyes and ears in those areas. And sometimes just pulling out a branch or pulling out something that's obstructing can save a lot of time and effort, because by the time you call us and we get there, it could have already done some disastrous effects.
Especially if you're at the end of the drain field, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
If you got a branch in that ditch and the grass and everything and the leaves pile up against it, a branch will hold it and actually block a culvert or block a ditch and cause flooding in a subdivision just because of a branch. So it's real good to go there and pull those little things out for us, because we can't be everywhere in the parish at the same time.
Right. But saying that, I mean, you do have like crews or people out who are going out and looking in addition to people being out there in general.
Yeah, Public Works is going to have their crews doing, some normal works, going around, checking culverts and doing that, and just going through the subdivisions, making sure everything is open. If they see something, go ahead and pull it out and get it out the way.
Jimmy. And one last reminder too, garbage pickup days will continue as scheduled tomorrow and Saturday. As soon as the garbage people pick up the garbage, please bring the cans and all inside and the lids, because those two can provide us with some, can really cause some problems if they're left in the ditches.
What about police? Any step up in police, or is it just business as usual?
Well, right now, the Sheriff's Department is patrolling to advise us, and HPD has added a couple people on their patrols in order to make certain that they advise us. And I want to just add one other thing. While we were talking about the blockage of drainage, if you've ever ridden with any of our drainage people, when they're trying to find out what's causing high water, they start tracing the pumps, the channels, and then they find out all of a sudden that something's blocking it. You pull that and it's just like, just a tremendous gush. And so that's why it's so critical that people pay attention to these matters.
It sort of looks like Jimmy's margarita with a straw in it. Right?
There you go.
And with that said, we'll take a break. So we'll be right back. Don't go away.